Oh man, so the worst thing that could happen in response to the tariffs has been happening. It's not good. China stopped shipping. We're going to look at some information on there. On its article out of Yahoo today that's showing that. But I'm telling you, this is the one thing that my clients and I we've been preparing for, we've been worried about, and now it's here. The issues that come from, again, China deciding not to ship and people not ordering and all the things that happen there, the compound and bullwhip effect that happens with that is pretty bad. So let's get into it today. Again, for those who don't know, I'm a business coach that works out of West Michigan around the country. I come here pretty consistently every single day on YouTube to, just share some of the information I share with my clients. And again, I hope to earn your subscription. Let's get into this here. So there's no way, and this is from Freight Waves through Yahoo Finance, there is no way the U.S. can recoup lost China container imports. This is from an analyst. Don't need to be an analyst to really understand this and the impact that this is going to have. It's going to be very significant when this occurs. And you'll see it here now. While China trade embargo instigated by President Donald Trump's tariffs war, that's an awful long thing here, basically just we're in a tariff war, has focused on the evolving collapse of eastbound trans-Pacific container volumes to the U.S. Closer look at the intersection of China's share of tonnage and specific goods moving through U.S. ports paints an even more devastating picture. Folks, there's a lot of numbers that we're going to look at here. Just stick with me. We're going to look at a chart in a second that's going to really clarify things for you and what we're dealing with. And frankly, it's been going on for a while, but it has gotten considerably worse lately for reasons, right? Now, according to the Census Bureau data, the list of American ports that processed the most containerized imports from China in 2024 was led by LA. LA's got a monster port there. You can see this. That's a lot of metric tons. That's 22 million metric tons. That's a lot. Or 51% of the ports total came from China. So half of the workload at the ports in LA are China. Half. And then we look at other spots here where, again, China, 13 million going through neighboring port of Long Beach. And then we've got Newark and East Coast Gate, again, and then Newark was the third one. I mean, it's a lot here. And this is, you can see here, some ports, some U.S. ports rely heavily on shipments from China. Here's the total share. Like, look at this. Long Beach, 61%. San Francisco, 58% of the work. 51% for LA, Tacoma, down the line here. Now, many moons ago, we'll come back to this in a second. So many moons ago, when I was in the military, when I had to deal with the ports shutting down because the way it works for us to get our stuff, right? It's got to go into a U.S. port first, got to be looked at, then it gets recontainerized and then sent out to the military base. You just can't have a direct shipment from China. It doesn't work that way. And when the ports, they had a slowdown at the ports before, it was awful, like just awful, not just because of what the impact was for us, and we're gonna get into the impact for us as consumers, but they had to furlough and lay people off, which has a devastating effect to the local economy and the economy as a whole. But also now your ability to get stuff through everyone else continues to slow down because there's less people, there's less hours, there's less staff. All these things exacerbate itself. Does that mean that we should be subservient to China and stuff? No, that's not. This isn't about that. This is simply what we're going to be dealing with here right now, because our entire port system, for the most part, and you'll see the number, you see how the numbers drop down here. But let's just cut it off from right here. From Mobile, Alabama up, a significant portion of their trade, of their business at these ports is from China. And for them just to cut that off, that's significant, that's serious, and that's definitely going to cause issues. All right, now we look through here, scope, not worried about that. This is the next spot here. Look at this. Major U.S. port sees massive drop in activity. This is LA's scheduled container volumes year over year. You guys notice something there? Yeah, May 4th. So next week, cut by 40%. 40%. So this is the huge bump that they had to get everything in before the tariffs, and now it's just dropped off. It's just done. The amount of things that we get shipped on a consistent basis from China, it's huge. And what this is going to cause is going to be a devastating effect to, let me turn that off. You guys don't need to keep getting hit with subscribe there. You guys know if you want to subscribe, which I hope you do, hope I earn it. Anyways, this is going to be devastating for many reasons, but here's the biggest. That big drop we saw, minus 40%, and we're down 1% the following week. This week, we're down 10%. It's going to be nearly impossible to make up though that deficit anytime soon. And when you look at the amount of stuff that comes through there, it's everything that we use in all of our stores, everywhere. And so you think LA has a big drop, everywhere else is going to have a similar drop as well too. So the shortages are coming back, folks. Hope you didn't miss them, or hope you're prepared. The shortages will be coming back. Now, to what level and extent? This isn't like, Pollyanna, fire in a theater type of stuff. It's simply just stating that we're going to have a whole bunch of stuff that isn't going to make it through in any sort of timely manner, or frankly, it's just going to be causing rolling shortages, which means prices are going to go up. That's where we're at, folks. And for my clients in the business world, the way that most of their business, the materials they use, a lot of stuff they sell comes through the ports. So now we're stuck in a position where businesses are not going to have enough stuff. So we're not going to be able to get certain things. Those people that do, they're going to raise their prices, which is going to then mean less money to spend at other businesses. So this is where we're going to see the next rolling phase of businesses that are going to be failing. Like, you can just see, it's not going to be a huge number, but right now we've had more bankruptcies in the last 12 months than we had in the previous 10 years combined. It was a bunch. Those numbers are only going to go up from here. We're going to continue to see a large number of bankruptcies, and this isn't going to help the cause. Okay, and that's really the idea here. What I wanted everybody to understand. That's why I came here live, just to look at this, folks. It's very difficult to run businesses in this type of environment. What I can tell you now, if you're a business owner, and this goes for if you are at your home, and I hate to say this out loud, because it affects me too as a business owner. You need to be thinking about where you're spending your money. You gotta be thinking about, do you need to spend that money right now? Buy the things you need to have if you're in a business for inventory and cost of goods sold, and to be able to do those things. Everybody else, when it comes to a consumer, think 3 to 4 times, not just twice, but 3 to 4 times about, do you really need to make that purchase? Because very soon, things that you want to pick up, you're not going to be able to, or the prices on those can be going up. Okay. So that's my big thing right now with my clients. We're just working through this. Like, man, how are we going to make this? How are we going to manage this? And that's what we're fumbling through at the moment. So again, if you'd like to learn more about how I help businesses, businesses grow valuable companies that, folks want to buy, go ahead and check out summitbusinessguys.com. Hopefully I earned your subscription today. Take